Hi, this is Sal with Grow Your Garden with Sal. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't know about me, I'm kind of the plant lady. That's vegetable plants. I have a farm in Columbia at 113 Hilltop Drive, and I'll be there 11:30 to 3 today. And we have a hurricane sale on collard plants, vegetable plants, seeds, so definitely come on out. And I am here with Senor Frank from...
Meadow Glen Elementary School. My name is Michael Frank. I'm a Spanish teacher in Lexington District 1 at Meadow Glen Elementary School, where I also keep the school garden and manage our garden club.
Thank you, Frank. And this show, this time is going to be all about getting kids growing and finding out how to set up gardens in schools. So can you tell us why it's important?
Well, gardening for children is really important, especially nowadays. Everybody seems to assume that their kid is, learning to garden, and it's just the simplest thing in the world. They see that their grandparents or aunts and uncles or neighbors garden. They might bring food to the family, bring some produce out of the garden. But the question is, are the kids actually involved in that garden? Are they involved in the planning, the digging, the planting, and the growing of the garden? And often the answer is no. So learning in the garden includes so many different topics, and it's hands-on. Life sciences, earth science, math concepts like geometry. You can even learn about social studies and history, which I have to say Sal does a great job of in her seed boxes. She'll send details about plants that are included in the box, including like the geographic location they came from, historical notes about their growing, and which is really important. It also promotes the development of social skills and empathy. When you grow something and take care of something, you can't help but care about what you're doing and what you're taking care of. And being in nature teaches a child their place in the world and connects them to the cycles of nature. Gardening teaches science, and importantly, it teaches science in a hands-on applied context. And when you learn that way, the information really sticks.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much these kids absorb and how much they want to be outside instead of just sitting on sitting at a desk and learning this. Hands-on is always so much greater. I had a field trip from the folks at Greenville Elementary School, and I was so amazed about how much the kids knew. They even knew what the tree of life was. I walked up and I was like, hey, do y'all know what this tree is? Yes, that's the tree of life. It's got 92 vitamins on it. It's got protein. I was like, wow, okay, you can do the presentation.
I have to say, I just love this lady. Sal and her mission of educating the public. She does these things. She shows up at schools. I was teaching at a charter school a few years ago, and we grew some giant radishes that she supplied to us. And when I called her and told her, they got really big, the kids are really excited, they'd love for you to come by, she showed up. And that means the world to these kids.
It was so much fun. How big? What was the biggest radish? Do you remember? Because it was so exciting.
It was way bigger than a softball. I know
that. Isn't that so cool?
It was really cool.
And we get to push the limits with the kids. And Senor Frank, he has so much just neat growing. I actually call him a lot when I have questions. I'm like, hey, I've got a question about this. He really is the GOAT. He is so awesome.
Oh, well, that's what we do as gardeners, right? We share information.
Yes.
It's a community. And that's part of what I love about the gardening community and the farming community. Get to know your local farmer. Sal is a farmer. She's been at this for her family's been at this for 7 generations.
Yeah.
And again, with the radishes, like you said, one of the things I like to do is grow unusual things, anything that catches the kids' interest. So again, those seed boxes, when you get it, you never know what you're going to find in that box. And a lot of times it's something that's a little unusual, and you might not think it's the greatest thing to eat, but the kids definitely will.
They eat what they grow.
Absolutely.
They really do. And you can also, if you're not a student, you can also subscribe to our garden box, and that helps us get the boxes into schools. That funds that box going into all these different schools. And I think we got about 15 schools on the program.
Well, I know that you've been sending us boxes at the 3 different schools that I've worked at in the past, 10 years. And I definitely appreciate it. You've helped an awful lot of children in this area get involved in growing their own food and connecting them to nature.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we are hoping we're going to have some students call today from your school and also from Greenview. The number to call in about the school gardens is 803-799-8255. So if you've got a question for either one of us on how to get your garden started or how to get a community garden started or a garden in the school, please call in. We're excited to hear from you. And some of the students let us know about how their experience is.
Speaking of community gardens, I'd just like to give a shout out to the Marvin Heller Community Garden community. I just show up over there from time to time and plant things. I really feel like we need to have more community support of that garden.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people are aware that, well, for one thing, Columbia has a community garden program. And most of those gardens cost $20 per year, which is a nominal fee, really.
It's really cheap.
You end up getting access to water and tools, but Marvin Heller is completely free. We need some community support. We need some folks to kind of show up over there, at least in my opinion, and make use of that amazing resource that's there. They even have a hoop house. I could totally see, like, in the springtime or late winter, getting together and starting seeds. It could be a real hub for local food where we could start all of our seedlings and just farm them out to other community gardens and start feeding folks in places that, honestly, we do have a food desert issue in our city.
Yes.
We could start to address it right there at Marvin Heller, right down the block from the Point Radio right here on Millwood.
And even if you don't know how to grow, you've got a wonderful community willing to help you out. I mean,
I'll be there.
Yes. He'll be there. We're all here to help you out. And you also, it's hard for people to form new friendships. And we have a great group of volunteers that come out to the Big Red Barn and also to my farm and volunteer and other community, volunteer. And it just helps you meet people, get out, get fresh air, and start eating healthier. You don't have to have a gigantic garden to provide food. And it tastes so much better.
Absolutely. I mean, that is one of the main benefits I've found of school gardening. I can't tell you how many times the kids have tried a new and slightly unusual vegetable, even if it's just unusual to them. And, it turns out they love it. I like to grow things like ground cherries. I've been feeding kids ground cherries this fall.
They are amazing.
And
like candy. They're like Skittles.
Yeah, they're in the tomato family. So I'll just pass them one of these little paper lantern covered berries and they try it and they say they love it. And then I say, hey, how many of you don't like tomatoes? And 3 hands go up. I'm like, you just ate a tomato.
Yes.
And they're like, they change their mind immediately.
And we're going to be talking to Tatrina, who also has a passion for teaching people how to grow. She grows mushrooms. So when we come back from our break, we're going to talk to her. She's got an event coming up, and her business is called The Purple Mushroom, and it's in North Columbia. So we'll be hearing from her about...
Looking forward to it.
Yep, in the next segment.
She's a friend, too.
Yeah, so y'all be sure to call in, 803... excuse me, 803-799-8255. Again, that's 803-799-8255. We really appreciate it, and I hope to hear from some of the kids soon. Thank you so much. See you in a little bit. Hey, welcome back to Grow Your Garden with Sal. And we're here talking with Senor Frank, and we've got a special call on the phone right now. We got Tatrina with the Purple Mushroom. Hey, how you doing, hon?
Good. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, my name is Tatrina, and I'm the owner of the Purple Mushroom, which is an indoor urban mushroom farm. We're located at 618 Prescott Road in Columbia, and we grow gourmet mushrooms all year round. We have oyster mushrooms, lion's mane, chestnut, trumpet, pia-pino. But we do try to stick with the season. So if they're more of a cold weather species type mushroom, like the king trumpets are coming around and the enoki, we'll put those into the next run.
Oh, cool.
So we also, yeah.
And it's a lot easier too. I've ordered kits online and has had no luck whatsoever. But your directions and your guidance, I mean, it's so much easier to do. So. And you're a great local business, and you have a class coming up, right?
I do. I have a class coming up on October 5th from 11 to 1, and we are going to put together our own mushroom kits as well as enjoy a coffee mushroom bar and some delicious soup. So we have some wonderful stuff planned for the October 11th date, and I'm going to take a stroll around the farm, see what I do, how I do it, and that good stuff.
How do they sign up, hon?
Oh, my tickets are on Eventbrite. So you go to Eventbrite, and the Purple Mushroom is going to pop right up for Columbia. And once again, it's from 11 to 1 on Saturday, and you get a hands-on experience on growing your own mushrooms.
And you can also look her up on Facebook and find the event link too, right?
That's right. That's correct. You can also check me out on Facebook as well as Instagram, and the link will lead you straight to Eventbrite to buy the tickets. Yes.
Hey, Tatrina, it's so good to hear from you this morning. I got to say, you got my mouth watering just with the description of all those different mushrooms. There's a bunch I've got to try. I got to get over there again soon. And I've got to thank you so much. You've supported our garden here at Meadow Glen Elementary School with your spent mushroom blocks.
Absolutely.
I probably shouldn't be giving away my secrets, but those mushroom blocks got my compost up to 120 degrees in just a couple of hours. I will be by for more. Oh, yeah. It's insane.
Anytime. They're here for you. Yes.
I
maybe
really
you should
appreciate that.
explain to people who don't know what that is.
I'll let you take that because you know more about setting them up than I just know about decomposing them.
So the mushroom spent blocks are a byproduct of the farm. So after we finish harvesting all the fleshes of mushrooms, we're left with these good, healthy spent blocks, actually. And you can pick them up for free and put them in your garden, in your compost. But you have to let them break down for a little bit because they're still very rich. But once again, it's just the old step blocks that we've used here in the mushroom farm. And they still have life in them. So I know plenty of people that will call or send me a picture and say, hey, I just harvest these mushrooms off the block. I'm like, yeah, they still good. They're still viable blocks.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Is it mostly barley that you're growing on? Just out of curiosity.
No, actually, there is a mixture of 50% hardwood and 50% soy hulls, and
Wow.
that's HULLS. So that's what the substrate mix
All
is.
I know.
But that's not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I put that in my compost and chop those blocks up, the mycelium from those mushrooms seems to get into the compost and start breaking down the brown material, all the dead material like leaves that you put in your compost or sawdust. And I can see the white of those mycelium, all those little filaments that extend out into the material you're trying to break down into compost. They're amazing.
Yeah, and soil has to be alive, and this is a way to get it alive. And you also have a website where you can order some tinctures and different stuff too, right? And the kits, if somebody wants to just mail order it.
Yeah, so if you want to have a kit shipped or purchase any of our mushroom or value-added products, you can visit www.thepurplemushroom.com. thepurplemushroom.com.
And you're South Carolina certified, so please, please, please get out and support your local farms. Yes, and you're in North Columbia too. A lot of people don't know how many farms. We have 800 backyard growers in a 10-mile radius. So yes, it's amazing.
It is amazing. It is truly amazing. And also, should you want to pick up a mushroom kit, they are at Sal's as well.
Yes. So once a month, you can come out to Sal's and pick them up. You can go on our website, growyourgardenwithsal.com, and go under events. And so you can pick them up at my store, or you can also have them shipped, or they can pick them up from you, right? And
That's
get your
correct.
autograph too.
Yeah, that's right. We do have pickup events on Friday evenings, but it's on my calendar.
And this lady, oh my gosh, her classes that she teaches, she's so engaging and so much fun. You don't even feel like you're in a class. It's just great. Can you tell us your
Thank you for
website
that.
one more time?
thepurplemushroom.com.
And your event?
Thepurplemushroom.com. The event is going to be held on October 5th from 11 to 1. And I have this question all the time, will I be able to bring my children? Not to this event. This is more for the adults to come out and have a good time. But I do have events throughout the year geared towards children.
Oh,
but
great.
for October 5th event, this is just for the grown people. We're going to come out and have some fun, network, enjoy some delicious soup, partake in the coffee bar where you're able to sample some mushroom coffee, mushroom teas,
Ooh.
test out our mushroom honeys, just enjoy some of the mushroom products that we have here on site.
Well, that is so exciting. I know you have a real busy day, so we're not going to keep you. Everybody, please visit her site. And, let's get growing some mushrooms. Thank you so much, Tatrina.
I appreciate y'all for having me. And don't forget to come by and pick up those spent mushroom blocks. They're here for you.
I'll be there. I'll be there for the class, too. I'm looking forward to that. Sounds amazing.
Absolutely.
God bless,
thank
honey.
you so much. Have a great day.
You too. So we have a caller from, I believe, from Meadow
Glen.
Meadow Glen. Who's the first caller?
I believe it's Stella.
Stella.
Stella is one of my, founding members in the Meadow Glen Garden Club. She is now in 6th grade in middle school. And I know she's got some fond memories of her time with the Meadow Glen Elementary Garden Club.
Hey, Stella, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey, Stella.
Hi. So I used to be in gardening club with Senor Frank, and I thank him very much because I have learned a bunch because I was there for 2 years. And I am very excited to listen to this new show.
Oh.
Some of my favorite foods that we grew with Senor Frank were probably rat-tail radishes and okra. I would just eat them right off the stalk after I got them.
I know it. I remember you were tutoring just a month ago, and I stopped in, cut some okra off that plant, and had to bring it to my okra girl. She sat there eating it. I hear Mom in the background.
Yes. We've learned a lot as a family from Senor Frank.
That's so great. So what's your favorite stuff? So you said okra, radish. What else?
Rat-tail radish. Hey, Stella, can you
Rat-tail.
explain to us what a rat-tail radish is? I don't think a lot of people grow those.
So it's like a radish that's not, like, you don't grow it in the ground. It kind of comes off like this vine. And it's very, very spicy, but, and it's very thin and long.
Right. So a rat-tail radish, you plant the plant in the ground. It gets about 2-3 feet tall, kind of rangy. And you don't eat the root. The root is tough. You wait until the flowers bloom, and then you get seed pods that are anywhere from 3 inches to like 6 inches long, and they're crispy, and people have described them as kind of spicy green beans. They give you a little wasabi hit at the end, and that's like the one spicy thing that I'll grow in a school garden. I do not do hot peppers for obvious reasons, but rat-tail radishes are a lot of fun. The kids really like them.
Oh, man, that's so exciting. And I think Senor Frank should get an award for getting kids to eat okra. All I hear all the time is like, ooh, I don't eat okra. But really, it's if you pick it really small, it's delicious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Stella, I have a question. What is one of your favorite subjects now in middle school? I remember you said something about liking a certain teacher in middle school now.
I think it's either my social studies or my science. I really enjoy science.
I got to tell you, you made my day, kid. When you said that you like science now,
Yeah.
that was awesome. That makes me really proud, and I hope you keep going with it.
I'm so proud of you, Stella. That is so awesome. Are you going to be a farmer when you grow up?
Maybe.
Maybe after you become an astronaut or a scientist, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many places you can go once you know basic science, and it leads to medical careers when you're out in nature.
Yeah, and we're working some with NASA actually with that pepper project, and we actually ship a box down there, which is really cool for a lady. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. The NASA program, I think you can look it up online, and it gets a lot of kids and participating, and It's really cool. Stella, I really appreciate you calling in.
It's good to hear from you,
You're
Stella.
welcome.
Thank you. And we'll be planting our Georgia collards today that we got from South last week. Thank you.
Yay!
Nice. Perfect timing right after the weather passed, right?
Yes. Yes, and talking about weather, a lot of people is going to be replanting right now because that was a kell of a storm. Yeah, so we know a lot of people is without power, so we're definitely praying for everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, hon.
Thanks for calling in, guys.
And keep growing. And if you want to call in and talk about school gardens today, talk to Senor Frank. The number is 803-799-8255. Again, that's 803-799-8255. Hey, welcome back to Grow Your Garden with Sal. I'm here with Senor Frank, and we've got Mr. Jacobs from Greenview Elementary who's starting his own garden out there with the kids. I guess not his own garden, but
Awesome.
the community garden and the kids' garden. So, Mr. Jacobs, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing good.
Great.
You have an
Absolutely.
amazing group of kids.
Let me tell you something. Those little jokers get so excited when they get outside. Like, they want to experience the dirt, the bugs, everything, the water. I had one of them out there yesterday just wanting to get in the flood water. I'm like, no, come on, back up. Let's wait till everything dries up a little bit. We don't know if you know what's happening. Yeah, they're very excited.
Yes. So what do you want to accomplish with the kids? Tell me, why are you so passionate about this?
All right, so, everything's all academic, right? The kids are inside all day. They go home. They may or may not go outside. So we have this perfect spot at our school that's totally enclosed, and it has room for a garden. We got a little greenhouse out there. So I was like, man, look, who's working this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to my principal, and so she was saying, yeah, sometimes the community will come in and work it. So I was like, well, why don't the kids work because it's here? So I got up with a community group out there, the Greenview Community Club. They start coming in, and then we started working with the kids, getting their hands dirty, and just giving them something else to do during lunch and recess. So
Yeah, it's amazing,
that's the
and
goal.
I
Love
still
it.
can't believe the little boy that was there at the field trip Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
He
Yes,
knew
ma'am.
every single plant out there.
Let me tell
He
you
knew.
something. He's ready. He's ready to he's ready to grow some. What you had him smelling, some lemongrass or whatever it was.
Oh,
Yes.
I've got some plants for you if you need them.
Hey, look here. They're ready to grow. So,
Absolutely. And I'm not jealous at all of your greenhouse, let me just say.
Is there any questions you'd like to ask Senor Frank? He's been doing this for years and years and years. So I am so glad that the community's hooking up together to get kids growing.
So, yes, ma'am. So Sal's gonna be coming out there with us once a month,
Nice.
sometime next week. To help get us started. If Senor would love to come out with you,
Absolutely. I've got
That would be
seeds to
awesome.
share,
We could
plants
do-
to share. Let's do this.
how about we could? I mean, you could do a whole show out there if you wanted to. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
definitely, yes, because we
Sounds
I'm
have
like
just
fun.
saying.
we're putting everything
a
on
nice-
the YouTube channel too. So yeah, so we can film it and have y'all and have the kids up there. It would be so much fun.
So let me
Oh,
just
they
say,
will love that.
let me just say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I wasn't even aware that you guys had a garden out there, and this just to me illustrates how we need to connect. I mean, I know of a few school gardens in the area, Uhuru Farms out in Lower Richland. There's Satchel Ford Farm in Satchel Ford. But I really feel like we need to have more of a network, more connection, and I've got a garden blog that my kids write on. It's gardening at the Glen, edublogs.org. And I'd really like to see more of a network where, your kids could actually write posts on the blog. My kids write posts on the blog. We comment on each other's information and kind of teach each other. So we have more of a network of kids and adults that are interested in helping kids learn this stuff. I mean, what do you think?
Sir, I like that idea, and I'm going to even take it a step further with you. I know, in the school we have our own little, social media network, like Classroom Dojo. So everything you give me, I will share on there.
Love
That
it.
would be
So that'll
great.
get that will get our family and our parents and the kids more like amped up, ready to go. So
I see.
I would do that part on that. Yeah.
I foresee a radish competition between the schools. Who can grow the biggest
Oh,
radish?
there's so many things we can do. Actually, I'm glad you said that, Sal, because I wanted to do something. I'm asking for permission from the parents for this, so it's a little out there. But in Oregon, I forget what year it was. I want to say 2017. They started this challenge. Local farmers out there. It's called the Soil Your Undies Challenge.
Say that again?
Soil your undies. Soil your undies
okay.
challenge.
Soil your undies.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can see why I'm asking parents for permission to do this. What you do is, you buy a pack of tidy whities and you bury them 3 inches under the surface of your soil in your garden or farm. And you come back 60 days later and dig it up and see what's left. And I'm planning on putting, it illustrates how living soil works and how, cotton, which is organic, can get broken down by soil microbes and funguses. And if all is well in your soil and you've got good living soil, when you dig that underwear up, there shouldn't be a whole lot left. There should be the rubber waistband, and that's about it. So I was planning on doing that in a spot in the garden at Meadow Glen, but also in my compost pile at home, which should be stacking the deck. There shouldn't be anything left. But I'd love to see local schools do the same thing. I mean, we could all, do this together.
That would be so much fun. Oh, my gosh.
I'm with that. Like, you guys send me the information, and I'll get the rollout going at my school, and I know the kids will love to do that.
I mean, underwear are cheap. I'll buy them for you too. I'll just get a multi-pack and we'll
run
hand
to the
them out to
dollar store.
everybody's. Yeah, all the schools.
So do you have to make sure that they're all cotton, or can you?
Yeah, just look for the 100% cotton label on the underwear, and throw them in the garden, see what happens.
That'd be pretty cool, and definitely put a sign over there so everybody knows.
I don't know that you can plant anything over there, so you're giving up a little space in your garden, but
maybe a radish.
Well, as long as it's cotton,
Cotton.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be a good experiment to see why you should do 100% cotton instead of some of the alternate fabrics with the polyester
Biodegradable. Yes.
Biodegradable goes back into the earth.
That's
You do
true.
a comparison, yes, ma'am.
Oh man, this makes me so excited.
I actually won first place. At, my 5th grade science fair. I'm popping my own collar right now. I did a growth like that. So I did one. I grew a plant in water. I grew a plant in vinegar, and I grew a plant in soda. And see which one would grow.
Oh, that's cool.
First place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, do you still have that ribbon? You got to send me a picture of you so I can add it to the YouTube video.
Now you got me curious. I have a feeling the vinegar might not be a great idea, but the soda, that intrigues me.
Vinegar was not a great idea. And half the soda made it because the other half,
Oh my gosh. Well, we really appreciate you calling in. We're going to get everybody hooked up together. And if anybody else got a school out there, call me. And we can call me at my store, 803-786-6546, or text that number, and we're going to get everybody hooked up together, and it's going to be great.
That sounds good. That sounds great. I know a couple of schools that want to join, so I'll let you know.
Awesome.
That's going to be awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Jacobs, for all you do for these kids.
Thank you guys for having me on, and Miss Sal, I will see you next week. Hey, and just let you know the shirt, I did try to get your shirt to wear at school. My principal laughed very hard and said no.
I said no.
I love the shirt, though. My wife hasn't seen it yet, but I bet when I show her,
oh, yes. He got one of Got My, and it's got a picture of a donkey.
Got my donkey.
Got my donkey, some plants at Sal's. The donkey's an emoji, so I'll let you use your imagination.
Awesome shirt. Thank you guys so much.
God bless, honey. Thank you for all you do.
I'm looking forward to getting over there and visiting.
Nope. Okay, so I think we have another caller on the phone. Juniper?
Hey, Juniper.
Yes.
Good morning.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm a student at Meadow Glen Elementary, and I'm in Mr. Frank's Garden Club.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you've been writing some blog posts. You wrote about pickles recently, right?
Yeah.
What is a pickle, hon?
So
tell me what a pickle is.
it's it's like a cucumber that sits in like a mixture of salt, water, and
Some vinegar?
vinegar. Yeah.
How long does it have to sit?
About like 5 weeks.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. Are they super yummy?
Yeah. We like them sour, but you can also add peppers to make them spicy, or a pinch of salt to make them more sweet.
Ooh,
Or, a pinch of sugar.
There you go.
good.
Don't add,
Good
yeah.
job. And what grade are you in, hon?
I'm in 5th grade.
6th grade. That's amazing. Oh my
Actually,
No,
gosh.
5th grade.
5th grade.
5th grade.
Yep.
So they're learning a lot, not just growing.
And actually, just not to cut you off, Juniper, but if there's anyone out there that would like to help with our mission to educate our children and teach them about their own food and gardening, again, our blog is gardening at the Glen, all one word, .edublogs.org. It's a public blog. The kids write posts and contribute to it. And any gardener out there that would be so kind as to read some of my kids' posts and comment on it, just give them an attaboy, tell them they did a good job. Or if there's something that's inaccurate, just maybe say, hey, you should do a little more research into this topic. I would really appreciate it, because we need to encourage our kids to be independent learners and really get involved in this. That's what we're looking for from these gardening programs that we do at schools. So anyway, Juniper, I'm sorry. I'm sure you had something to say. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
So
my favorite plant is right now hibiscus roselle, because the leaves are sour and you can make tea with the little buds.
wow.
Yes, that is one of our
And
favorites.
And I actually just bought some seeds, so we're going to try to plant it in our garden.
All right.
And
That
make
is
some tea
so
with it.
cool.
All right, we're gonna have to talk about that. We'll start them in February under lights indoors and with some nice heat, because hibiscus roselle is a tropical flower. But no, that was a big hit last year too at the garden. We grew it and made sorrel drink out of the hips, or the calyxes. And I believe Juniper said that was even better than Sour Patch Kids when she tried the leaves for the first time. Yeah, you never know. The kids love the extreme flavors.
Oh man, I've never tried that, so I'm definitely gonna have to try that. Thank you so much. So on the blog post, what'd you talk about? Did you talk about how to do pickles? Because I need that recipe really bad.
Yeah, I have it on I sent it to Mr. Frank, and it should be on the garden club posting.
Yeah.
But there is no exact.
It's sort of a do-it-yourself
It's
thing.
like more.
It's a
Yeah.
It's an experiment.
right. She just gives you the principles how to do it.
Thank you, Jennifer. We really appreciate you, and we'll be back here just after this break.
Thanks for calling in.
Hi, welcome back to Grow Your Garden with Sal. I'm here with Senior Frank, and I would not have a show without sponsors like H&J Cattle Company. So order some meat. We've got pickup locations all across town, and we're also going to start stocking their meat as of this week. So you can come to my store, growyourgardenwithsal.com, and there and order it to be shipped to your location to HandJCattle.co. There's no com on that. There's another sponsor from last week, Marianne at One Hubcap Farm. Oh, she's so wonderful, but the hurricane did mess up her flowers, so the U-Pick, I believe, is canceled for today, but she is still having her sale. So look her up on Facebook, One Hubcap Farm, and pre-order some flowers for all the bees. And again, if you have a question for us, you can call in at 803-799-8255. I'm not sure we're going to, I think we got a few other callers. No callers right now. So we'll go back and talk to Senor Frank about how important gardens are in schools.
Well, let me tell you a little something about how I got into gardening myself.
Yeah, that'd be great too.
I'm from Long Island up in New York, and I had the good fortune of growing up just a few blocks from my grandparents' house, Virginia and Charlie McDonald. And Long Island, if you haven't been up there, we're wall-to-wall suburbia, even back then in the 70s. But my grandparents had 3/4 of an acre, and my grandfather had fruit trees. They had a grape arbor. He had tomatoes, all sorts of vegetables. His prized dinner plate is dahlias. My grandmother grew all sorts of flowers, lupins, mums. They had lilac trees or bushes down the side of the driveway that kind of overarched lilies of the valley. I mean, imagine the scent in the springtime.
I bet that's...
It was amazing. And to me, their yard was like a farm. So from 3 years old, I was out there toddling around behind my grandfather, quote unquote, helping him plant the tomatoes. I probably killed way more than got in the ground. And, they were also educators. Charlie and Virginia were both public school librarians. So, as a kid, he would have me follow him around and work, and eventually I was given my own little garden. At like 7 or 8 years old, I'd be staying overnight at my grandparents' and wake up first thing in the morning to run downstairs, turn on the TV, and watch Super Friends or Scooby-Doo. And my grandfather would come down there, and he'd get out there by about 7:30 or so and say, "Come on, let's go. It's time to work." And I was reluctant to get out there. But that's how I got started in this. And a few years ago, I'm of course a Spanish teacher in Lexington District 1. And if anyone from Lexington District 1 is listening, well, take this with a grain of salt. But years ago, I think it was 2011, I started teaching at Carolina Springs Elementary School. And my workload was not very heavy. Please understand, it is plenty heavy now.
Come on, we can add some more to it, right? Come on now.
But I approached Dr. Behringer, my principal at the time, about putting a garden in front of my Spanish portable. And I had a few reasons for doing this. One was to connect the kids with nature, and 2 was to make my Spanish class a little more popular. It wasn't the most popular subject. So when I asked him if I could put a garden in front of that portable, he said, "Well, what does Spanish have to do with gardening? Or what does gardening have to do with Spanish?" And I told him, "Well, just wait, I'll show you." And I ended up setting up a garden with 30 different plants that had numbers on posts in front of them with some kind of connection to Spanish and Hispanic culture. And I wrote up little descriptions, 3 to 5 sentences in very simple Spanish, and had 5th graders read those descriptions, took the recordings, and kind of hooked them up with a still photo of the plant and the text, and made YouTube videos that were then QR coded, where you could go to the garden, snap the QR code, listen to a 5th grader describing the plant in basic Spanish, and learn about the plant in Spanish at a level that a 3rd grader could understand. Just size of the plant, if it has flowers or not, what color the flowers are, size of the leaves, that kind of stuff. And little cultural notes like for example, Monarda. Some of us know Monarda as bee balm. And Monarda is the scientific name because it is named for Nicolas Monardes, who was a doctor in Spain who was also an armchair botanist. And the first sample of bee balm that was sent back to Europe was described by him in the literature. So it's named for a Spanish doctor from the 1600s.
Wow.
So eventually, I ended up planting some beans and other vegetables in that garden one year, and a child walked up to me as I picked a bean and asked, "What are you eating, Senor Frank?" And I said, "It's a green bean, Dante. Do you want one?" So he tried one. After asking me, "Well, don't I need ranch or butter?" And trust me, the kids don't need any of that.
Not when it's fresh from the garden. It's so much sweeter.
Yeah, once they try it one time, they're hooked. And he came back in 4th grade, and his teacher then watched him stop at the end of the line and asked me, "Senor Frank, do you have any of those green pod things?" And of course, I wasn't thinking about the year before. So, he eventually explained to me what he wanted, and I realized it was a green bean. I said, "No, I didn't plant any for the fall this year, Dante." And he, headed off. And his teacher later asked me what he wanted, and I told her, and she had been a teacher in the Netherlands, where she had seen, the school gardens in the Netherlands. The kids take care of them. The food is harvested and actually served in the cafeteria. So from there, I got the support of those teachers. We ended up making our first garden. And don't ever discount your community connections as a teacher if you're starting a school garden. I did this on a shoestring. Now, a lot of the money comes out of my own pocket, but the wood for the lumber that we used for our 8 raised beds, we ended up with 8 raised beds, 3 foot wide by 8 feet long, using 2x10s that were basically donated by R.H. Smith Lumber Company in West Columbia. Mayor Benjamin at the time donated as much City of Columbia compost as we could use for free. We approach local businesses and use our connections to start these gardens. There's plenty of resources out there. Clemson University, the Master Gardeners. If you don't know the Farm to School program, it's really wonderful. There's a lot of people out there that'll help you get started. In fact, if you are thinking about starting a school garden, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help any way I can. And we've got loads of seeds at my school that can help to get you started.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And we'll have the website and his contact information on the YouTube and also on our Facebook too. So if you didn't get to write that down, we will have that on there too. And Senor Frank, we've got a caller in. No caller? Okay, never mind. We do not have a caller. So yeah, that's so exciting. People who do not grow gardens and you go to the grocery store and you're buying the food there, it doesn't have the taste because it doesn't have all the nutrition. So it's a lot easier to get the kids to eat this nutritional food when it has the taste. And that's correct, right? That's how you get them to eat their greens.
Absolutely.
And finish eating the broccoli.
And the other thing is school gardens in South Carolina, as per DHEC regulations, are supposed to be organic. So using organic nutrients, it really does make a difference in the flavor of the food.
They can even start compost piles out of stuff out of the kitchen, the school kitchens. And there's, I believe with DHEC, they're starting a project or been doing a project with different schools. So definitely contact DHEC. I've got some posters in my store too. If you're a teacher, come by, pick up a poster and get some information on how to start composting. Because you can have different bins, right? And then fill up the different bins. The kids know what can go back into the earth. And then you also see in all the waste, that doesn't.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, school cafeterias generate an awful lot of waste. I oftentimes take the apples and bananas that are left over and bring them home to compost. I actually keep a worm bin in the bathroom in my portable. The kids always think that's weird. Like, Senor Frank, why do you have worms in your bathroom? And my answer to them is always, well, where do you keep your worms? You must keep them in the kitchen, right? I mean, that's where all the food scraps are. But that's a fun project to do with kids. You you get a plastic tote, and maybe a 16-gallon tote, and drill some holes in the bottom and drill holes in the cover. Just take shredded paper, throw it in there, wet it down a bit, and then throw some food on top and put in red worms. Red wigglers that you get for bait at a bait and tackle shop are actually from Africa, and they need temperatures above 50 degrees, but they make amazing compost. It takes a while, but it's really not difficult to do. And the kids love it. I mean, they love playing with the worms.
Yeah, it's amazing because I've put in some leaves and a little bit of dirt and the worms, and really just every day you can see the change. It's amazing how quick the change is. So it's a fun experiment, even for anybody. And what kid doesn't like to play with dirt and worms? I mean, come on now. And so I'm going to be at the store today, 11:30 to 3. Are you going to be joining me for a little bit?
Absolutely. I'll definitely be there. Yeah,
so come by if you're interested in starting a school garden or a community garden. Come by, talk to Michael Frank. You'll be at my store for a little while. 113 Hilltop Drive. Sign up for our newsletter, Grow Your Garden with Sal, and also our YouTube channel, Grow Your Garden with Sal, because we're going to have all the information on both of those places. And we hope you stay safe. We're kind of winding down. Is there anything else you want to say before we head out?
Just wanted to thank you for having me on and helping me spread the word about school gardens. I really appreciate it, Sal. and I'm looking forward to hanging out today. It's one of my favorite places.
Thank you so much. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, welcome to Marvin Heller Community Garden. This is a resource that I feel is underutilized here in Columbia. Over here we've got a pollinator garden, and there's a couple beds over that way. It looks like somebody's got some stuff planted over there, but as you can see way up here, we've got the hoop house. Might need a little repair, but that could really be a seedling just factory. I actually made one of those benches in there to grow seedlings. That could be a seedling factory for, community gardens in the area. Honestly, I'd like to see a free farm in Columbia. We always talk about the food desert issue. If we utilize that hoop house, we could grow an awful lot of seedlings and plant them in the ground somewhere in just market garden beds that would raise lots of food for free for the local communities where we don't have the grocery stores we need. But all the way down at the end of the garden, you can see there's a bunch of beds. They're not being used right now. I did put a couple tomatoes in. You can kind of see there's some fencing that's knocked over there. But it's hard for me to get down here to take care of stuff. And if the local community were to get organized a little bit and come out here, and we could grow a whole lot of food out here, honestly.
And what's the address, do you know?
I wish I did.
What's the road?
We're on McDuffie Street. It's at the intersection of McDuffie and Gervais. There's a lot of really neat stuff here too. There's a pineapple guava bush over there that should be producing fruit anytime now. There's a loquat tree. It needs a little TLC, but everything's here, just waiting for folks to take it up and start growing their own food. It's completely free. You don't have to pay the $20 a year you would at other Columbia community gardens.
Thank you so much.